Marco,
Sean,
vroom vroom.
it's about time.
Start
I'm
your
already
engine.
run out of gas once. I'm already
Have you
halfway there.
run out of gas or battery?
No, I don't think the battery is enough. We'll go gas.
All right. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're not there yet.
All
I
right.
wish, but we're not there
All
yet.
right. We'll manage the risk. We don't want to run out of gas on the way up. We want to
No.
arrive safe and sound so we can see all our friends and have some good chats. And speaking of which, we have our good friends from ISACA on with us, Mary Carmichael and Dooshima. How are you both?
Oh, we're doing great. It's a pleasure to be on the podcast today. Thanks for having us.
Of
We,
course, we're here
yeah,
to share some excitement and to learn what Isaka is planning on location. I mean, it's a
we haven't
company.
even said where we're heading, Marco. We just said we're driving. We're on our way to RSAC.
I think at this point people already know. But yeah, what if somebody just jump in and it's the first one that they hear from us? So yes, we're going to RSAC Conference for our what 11th, 12th, 20th time for you probably. It's always as exciting as the first time for me though. So that's why I don't even think about making the proper introduction. I want to just get down to the point,
Get down to business.
get down to business.
Well, this year I have to say there's a lot of excitement around the conference, which it's hard to say that there isn't every year, but there seems to be a little extra something going on this year, and certainly around the community as well. And the venues expanded, and I think there'll be many more people joining us this year. Um, Mary and Dushima, maybe before we get into what ISACA will be doing, where your booth is, what you'll be talking about, who you hope to meet, all that stuff, maybe just a quick few words about your role with the organization and what you're up to. And maybe we'll start with you.
Oh, hi. Greetings from Vancouver, Canada. So, my role with the SACA, I am Mary Carmichael, but I'm the president of the SACA Vancouver, Canada chapter. So, I'm excited to head down to RSA and represent our Vancouver community, but also represent ISACA and the great work we're doing, especially when it comes to our AI resources, whether it's risk assessments, governance, or even audit, but also hearing the results of the Quantum Pulse poll as well. And I think another thing that excites me about RSA is it's my first time. So I'm a newbie. So I hear, Sean, Marco, you've been there 20 times. I'd like to get some tips from you in terms of what's the must do. And also coming from Canada, I'm looking forward to the weather. So I'm assuming there's going to be sunshine. Can you help me? Can you promise me sunshine and some
I
warmth?
Marco,
cannot promise you
come on,
sunshine.
Marco, just do
It's San Francisco. I have to say that lately, the last few events, it's been really sunny and warm. So
Okay,
hopefully, we'll stick with that.
sounds good.
Let's stick with that. I'll check the weather as Shima tells us a little bit about herself.
Right? We've got to know what to pack as we pack up the microphones and all the things we're going to need next week. I'm Dooshima Dabo'Adzuana. I've been a ISACA member for a little over 6 years now. I'm a chapter leader, just like Mary from the Abuja chapter. But right now, I'm a researcher in Boise, Idaho at Boise State University. So, like Mary, I've been involved with ISACA for as long as I've been a member on various boards and advisory groups, and it's just a great community. So the theme for RSA this year really resonates with both of us. Many voices, one community, and we're just looking forward to gathering in San Francisco. I do want to highlight the one community because actually my background is I'm a CPA. So with the CPA, I've been getting more involved in cybersecurity assessments, the budgeting, the reporting. So it shows that the cybersecurity community has grown, especially the past few years, to include accounting professionals, risk audits. So it's great to see that trend to show that cybersecurity is broadening in terms of its roles and also its function, especially the business risk aspects of it.
Well, it's expanding and also it's getting even more complex like if it wasn't already, right? I mean, Mary, you started your introduction with AI and quantum, which is already a mouthful, but I'm
And
expecting
let's
to
mix
hear
those together too. Why not?
exactly. We could actually mix the two together and then it get really scary, but I'm expecting actually those to be like two very very relevant topics this year. Not that AI already wasn't, but I think we're to a different level. I mean, 1 year in AI, it's a long way to go and to get into people's mind and hopefully into strategy for cybersecurity. So you actually are presenting at RSAC conference as well. So what will we be talking about?
Oh, yes, we're going to be talking about AI, so third party AI. And I think what triggered this session was a number of companies are choosing to procure AI solutions. So when you procure, part of that is what's your security and privacy requirements? What's the vendor's background in terms of its own AI lifecycle development? And also the LLM, like how is the data being stored? Is it our data being used to train that model? So I just found the past 2 years, especially with ChatGPT and the expansion of LLMs, now this capability is now being embedded into these third-party solutions that companies want to buy. But part of that is you have to do the due diligence. So the question is, so with that process is like, what questions do we ask to support companies in procuring these solutions and also making sure there's due diligence afterwards, even when you deploy the solutions and monitoring its performance.
And Dooshima, what in connection to the presentation that you're giving together, what are some of the things on top of mind for ISACA members around AI and more specifically the third party risk that comes with it? What drives them to come together as a community, and what answers are they seeking from you that you hope to share with them during your session?
Well, our session is going to cover a lot of the questions that ISACA members have had over the last year as AI sort of takes over the conversation in our space. Most importantly for ISACA, we have a lot of tools and resources that we're going to be talking about. We're also going to be sharing with the community at our booth. We've got some upcoming certifications that touch on AI audit, AI security management. We've got some polls, we've sent out some questions in our community and got some interesting feedback. So we're going to have some results from those polls being released as well.
And this has been inserted, let's say, into your certification programs. And so when I think about AI, that there's more questions than answers in my head, and I think a lot of people had, not only for the third party but in general. How is received and how easy it is to, train on something that is so still up in the air, right? So I don't know if it doesn't make sense as a question, Mary.
Oh, it makes sense. I think part of that is ISACA has its fundamentals courses. So just even what is AI 101? And AI is really a broad set of technologies. So like natural language processing, predictive analytics, robotics, even agentic AI. Just so starting with the fundamentals, like what is AI? What are the different types of technologies? What's the applications in terms of the business case? And then when you're looking at deploying those technologies, kind of goes back to a framework. And ISACA provides a nice framework. Like, what is your business strategy? What do you hope to achieve? And then what's the governance model to make sure that the use case and the technology you pick is actually delivering the results? And I think within the ISACA community, there's lots of discussion, is AI overhyped? So are we in a hype cycle? So part of that is just providing our members with education. So when they are going through these AI lifecycle steps, they're able to ask the right questions to confirm that the technology is sound and that the business is in track to achieve its objectives with its use cases.
So clearly, the members and the member community are what ISACA is all about, right? So bringing people together and giving them tools and resources and education and the ability to leverage all of those things to enhance and improve their careers. Um, you have your chapter meetings. RSA comes together. It's a chance to bring multiple chapters and multiple community members together to have conversations that you might hear different things from different parts of the country, different countries, Canada, US, wherever else the teams are coming from. What do you expect the vibe to be like at the booth, which happens to be S2268, so South 2268, the ISACA booth? What do you hope to hear and feel and say and communicate with the members in the booth?
So I think definitely there's going to be the ISACA energy, which is fun, which is vibrant. I heard we're going to have a selfie station, so we're going to be able to take, lots of pictures and capture memories. But I think the biggest part of the ISACA community is the conversations. As you mentioned, we have people not coming only from the US and Canada. ISACA has over 220 chapters spread across all the continents. So it's just a melting pot of different voices, leading back to the RSA theme, many voices, one community. So there'll be diversity, there'll be conversations, and there'll be selfies.
And this kind of relates to how Dooshima and I first met. So we met at an ISACA conference last year in Phoenix, the North American conference. My first time meeting Dooshima, and we both were speaking about RSA, and we both had an interest in attending. And then here we are a year later, attending RSA for the first time together and presenting. So it kind of shows the power of the community. So like Dooshima, she read several of my articles on risk management on the ISACA blog, and then she spoke to me at the conference. So I do find ISACA is great in terms of spreading ideas. They have the Engage platform for blogging. We also have ISACA Now in the journal. So it's a great platform in terms of sharing your viewpoints, and people do reach out to you and want to have conversations, hear more of your thoughts on topics.
That's really cool, and I have to agree. I mean, going to San Francisco at RSAC conference is really like going into some kind of different dimension where you do run into so many people from different part of the world. So it's really, really cool. Compare with other conferences that are really a little bit more localized. But I think that's the beauty of it. So do you feel, Dooshima, that when you talk to different people from other part of the world, different people from different part of the world, are they worried about AI in some kind of a different way than maybe in other part of the world, or is very unified the feeling about AI and cybersecurity?
Oh, I think it's very diversified depending on where you're having, the conversation. Definitely in North America, it's based around governance and creation of AI. I think in the global south, it's sort of based around use. They're competing priorities. Businesses have competing financial priorities. So investing in AI, certain AI tools is not practical. But I think at the baseline, what is consistent in all the conversations is educated. So whether you live in North America, whether you live in Nigeria, whether you live in Japan, we all need to have more education about AI, understand the risks, which Mary and I are going to be covering in our session. And those gaps in terms of education, that's the great thing about ISACA's resources. Depending on your situation, where you are in the conversation, there's a tool or there's a resource that can support you and your needs there. So
Very cool. What about the booth? Tell me a little bit more about what people can expect when they come there. Selfies, we know that, hugs, and that vibe, the ISACA vibe. But what else? Do you have demos going on? Do you have anything that they can look into?
I think kind of talking about the quantum pulse poll as well, because I think this is an area where there needs to be more education. So last year, the ISACA Vancouver chapter hosted an event on quantum. So part of that is, what is Q Day? Do people know what Q Day is? And that's the day where modern day encryption will be broken. And that may come sooner than expected, especially like 2030 or 2031. So I think part of that is discussing the pulse poll and just sharing the results, and then providing resources in terms of readiness. Have you done a risk assessment on your encryption systems? What's your plan for migration? So I think with the booth, it's there to share information, especially about emerging tech, the AI resources, our certification courses on securing AI as well as auditing, but then also quantum. That's the next big threat. So what does the Pulse poll say, and how can we support our chapter members in providing guidance to the organizations they work for and next steps in terms of how to avoid a Q day?
And Dooshima, anything you want to add to that? Because I also have a question, because we're going to go longer than 20 minutes here. I have another question.
Well, what I will add is that you've got to come see us at RSA to get the rest of the answer. I'm going to give you our whole session and all the goodies we're going to have at our booth. So if you want to know more, you've got to come see us in San Francisco.
Yeah, and the thing, and then I'm going to let Sean have the last question because he loves that. But first of all, in a special announcement, I just checked the weather, and apparently you're in luck. It gives sun every single day of the conference. So, Mary, you're all good.
I know, just shy of 70 Fahrenheit. So
sunny and beautiful. So that's the good news. Now, my quick question is, I know that, of course, you do so much for people, professional, not only that are already in the community, in the cybersecurity professional community, but also the one that wants to get into the community. And as long as I've been going to RSA, I've been in this industry that I hear about, the skill gap. Where are we standing with that?
Well, I was asked this question last week, so it's like the weekly question. I'm actually going to another event tonight too. We're having an ISACA Women in Tech event. So that's usually the number one question. Is like, I'm interested in cybersecurity. How do I break into cybersecurity? But also, what's the skills gap? And I do have an opinion about this. I do feel there's a lot of unconscious bias in terms of recognizing people's skills in other jobs and how transferable those skills are. Even me as a CPA, I never started off as a cybersecurity. I just fall into this career. I think just until recently, universities or colleges are now launching cybersecurity courses. So I think part of that is recognizing people's backgrounds. Like even with accountants, we do auditing, we do testing. Those skills are transferable to cybersecurity. So part of that is, I'm not sure if it's just having people be open about experience. And also within Canada, even like with immigrants, part of that is the immigrants with a cybersecurity background are having a difficult time finding work. And part of that is recognizing their overseas experience. So I do think it's a part of a larger conversation. So in terms of being open to people's backgrounds, recognizing the value of transferable skills, and providing a path to support people as they move into this field. And even with cybersecurity, I do want to highlight the work the European Union has done. So the European Union has mapped 12 different career routes for cybersecurity. So if you're interested in this field, here's 12 different pathways, whether it's auditing, risk, SOC, pen testing, so on. Here's the skills you need, and here's the credentials to help support that journey. So I think we need to have more toolkits like that, talking about what a cybersecurity career looks like and helping people identify what is their area of interest and supporting their journey through that career progression.
Yeah, the skills gap is probably a whole other episode of the podcast. But the resource that Mary mentioned, they actually do have a lot of frameworks in the European Union that help. ISACA actually worked on another one with the UK Cybersecurity Council, and it has like an interactive quiz where, based on your interests, it sort of sets out the playing field for you. If you're interested in this, these are the skills that you need. This is how to build them up. These are the certifications that map. So to not get overwhelmed, definitely, if anyone has any questions or they're wondering which way do I go, start from there, assess your skills with one of these tools or quizzes, and then build from there. It's a marathon journey. Like Mary said, she came from a CPA background. I started out in insurance. If you try to learn everything in one day, it's impossible. So it's a marathon mindset, and you build as you grow in your career and as the technologies change.
Yeah.
I do want to say that cybersecurity has changed a lot. When I look at cybersecurity careers before the pandemic, it was more network based. Not many people were talking about zero trust. Now it's a changing landscape, especially the increased business focus and reporting to the board. So I think we need to have a broader definition of what a cybersecurity career is versus thinking back to network-based pen testing from like 5 to 10 years ago.
I like the mindset. Yeah. It's a culture. Like either you're prone to it, like to think securely, and then from wherever you come, you can apply that mindset. Of course, then you need certain skills, but it's not the other way around. So I feel strongly about that. Yeah. Sean, you can go with your last question.
Well, probably not a question. I think a few statements. So I think the first thing, and everything you said resonates so well with me in terms of understanding what technologies are being used within organizations. We have new technologies coming. With that comes new exposures and new risks. So understanding all of that is important. AI and quantum, we're speaking to specifically there. And then more broadly speaking, understanding the role of cybersecurity in the business and the different roles and skill sets required for different parts of cybersecurity within the program. And knowing that all of that is fluid, right? So, and depending on where you are in your journey, you might have different needs for training and new skill sets and certifications to help you move along, or perhaps even just enter if you're looking to enter the space. So I'm excited for all that ISACA does and the community that you pull together in different parts of the world, and the opportunity to have many of those folks come together at RSAC Conference here and to visit your booth, S2268. And the other thing I want to note as we wrap here is this isn't the last conversation. I get to have a chat with Jamie Norton on location next week. And perhaps we'll talk skills, perhaps we'll talk CCOA. We're going to determine what that conversation is going to look like. I think if folks listening to this have questions they want me to ask, let me know via direct message, and I'll pose those to Jamie during the conversation. And then the last thing I'll note is a very good friend of mine who I've known for many, many, many years, Mr. Rob Clyde. He and I will have a chat, and Marco too as well, post-event, to kind of get a recap of what you heard, what you saw, where things are headed, and where ISACA can help continue to prepare us for the future of cybersecurity roles and programs. So that's all I have to say. No questions. I'm grateful that the two of you spent this time with us and gave us insights into what you're talking about, what the booth will have, and what the community can expect from their fellow ISACA members.
Thank you for having us. And we look forward to seeing you in San Francisco, seeing you at our booth, and hopefully seeing you at our presentation, right, Mary? We're speaking on Thursday the 1st at 8 a.m. But I don't think we have a room number yet, but once we do, we will share and let you know. So follow us on LinkedIn and everywhere. ISACA's on every platform. So.
Yeah.
Yep, stay tuned because ISACA has a page now on ITSP Magazine, so we'll keep it updated. And excited to see you there. Excited to have many more conversations on location. And for those that can't make it to San Francisco, unlike us, they can follow us with all the other recording that we will publish from there. And like Sean said, after the event. So subscribe, come with us to San Francisco, even if you're not going to be there in person, virtually. You can drive in the car with us. I don't think we'll get a ticket if there is a few thousands people in the car.
I hope
virtually.
You have space for all your listeners.
Does San Francisco still have the robotic taxis?
They do.
Okay. So
yeah,
Dooshima, let's do the robotic taxi.
Yes, we have to.
It's an adventure.
Taxi.
Get the app, and there'll be probably a lot of competition there because everybody wants to try it. But if you're lucky, you'll get one of those as well.
Sounds good.
So that's it. We'll see you there very soon.
Yes. Thank you both. Tuned. Thanks everybody for listening and watching.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.